watch the leaf float by, deep red sunset afternoon. That's when she came home, acting like nothing was wrong. Poured us a glass of wine.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Stoker Review. I'm Ben, and this week I'm going to do a cigar review on the new Oliva Serie V Melanio. Now, the Melanio is a new cigar coming out at IPCPR this year, and it retails for roughly $13 a stick. Now this is 6.5 by 52, and the difference between this and the Serie V is the Serie V and this will both have Jalapa Ligero in it, but this has a little bit more of the Jalapa Ligero in it, plus the biggest difference is the wrapper. The Serie V comes with a Nicaraguan Habano sun-grown, where this has an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, which is pretty cool because I love the Sumatra wrapper. Now this is a limited edition, which is why it costs so much more than the Serie V does. As you can see, it's a box press also. Get you a look at the wrapper there. And the tip up there. You can see it's pretty oily too. Another review at the end of it there. But this cigar created quite a buzz actually when it was announced, and it was one of the hits of the show at IPCPR. A lot of people were really excited to get their hands on these cigars, and as of right now, they're coming in. Most of the sides are coming in. Like right now, there's a Churchill, Figueroa, the number 4 Torpedo, and a Robusto. And my local cigar shop, the cigar shop in Biloxi, Mississippi, got the Torpedo, the number 4, and the Robusto, as the Toro and the Figueroa are back ordered for us. So they should be coming in soon. And I was actually talking to Ian, who is the head of Studio Tobacco, and he was telling me that the Figueroa and Toro, just the demand was so much for those, and especially the Figueroa is a little bit harder to roll. There wasn't enough to actually get out, so they should be coming in pretty soon. And the most expensive of the bunch is the Figueroa. It's around $14 a stick. So none of these are real outrageous. It's a little bit above the sweet spot that I was talking about, the $6 to $8. But for a limited edition cigar, or as you can see, Reserva Limitada, it's not a bad price point. Basically, this is in the same range as like a Padron Anniversary or a Liga Privada and stuff like that. So anyway, let's go ahead and check this thing out and see how it compares to all those. Has a real earthy smell on the cigar itself. Earthy and woody. And as you can imagine, this is supposed to be a full-bodied cigar. Typical of the Serie V. Now, a lot of you, if you've been following me over the several years of doing the cigar reviews, you know that the Oliva Serie V is one of my all-time favorite cigars. I mean, for the price, for what you get, it's just almost unbeatable. Even though the past couple years, the price has gone up. Still, though, for what you get for the money, I think it's an amazing buy of a cigar. So this one, even though it's a little bit more, we'll see how it goes. Oh, and also you can see on the side of it, even says that on the top band, Reserva Limitada, which is different from the regular Serie V. Still nice, classy looking bands though. I love the Oliva bands, they're so classy. Anyway, I'm going to cut the tip of this and see how it goes. Now the draw on this is a really good draw. Get that milkshake draw, which I love. The flavors are more woody and leathery. Kind of a nice combo. It's pretty smooth too. Really nice flavors right off the bat. So anyway, let's see. I know one thing they said about this though is this is kind of supposed to be in the same realm as Padron Anniversary, but you know, a stronger version of it, a more, I don't know, just a more flavorful version of it. We'll see how that goes. That's kind of a tall statement, but if anybody can deliver, I can see Oliva, you know, pulling that off, especially with the tobacco they have access to. And if you want to try to mimic a cigar, you know, or not really mimic, but you know, use as a benchmark, hell, the Padron Anniversary is definitely a good one to use. Well, as you can see, it's putting off a ton of smoke. And right off the bat, it's got some really good flavors. Kind of a little bit potent, a little bit more potent than I was expecting. It has that woodiness and leatheriness that I got off the cold draw, but it has a whole lot of spice also behind it that really kind of lingers behind on the palate after you basically, you know, sent out, you know, blew out all the smoke. There's a nice sweetness about it too. It's more of a the sweetness is kind of an accompaniment taste or flavor to the rest of the flavors that I'm getting. Basically, you get that woody, leathery core that is followed or kind of meshed in with that sweetness, kind of, you know, in the background, which fades away, and your palate's left with a nice spiciness that's not real strong. It's not a real potent like a pepper, but it's like a just a nice accent that flavor, kind of a muted spiciness, pepperiness to it that really lingers on the palate for quite a while. I'm still tasting it now. That's pretty cool. A lot of flavor, and I can tell you right off the bat, you get that power right off the bat on this cigar. There's no doubt this is definitely a full-bodied stick. Very tasty start. Anyway, I'm gonna spoke to the end of the first third. I'll be back to let you know how it is. See you in a second. Everybody, I'm back, and as you can see, I've finished the first third now. The cigar has actually lost a little bit of its, or not really lost it, it's toned down its spice note considerably. You really get it on the retrohale. You get a lot of spice on it, but just having the smoke on the palate, the spice is down at least by half now. But the sweetness is also ramped up. But the sweetness also has a more rounded characteristic to it. It's not as sharp as it was in the very beginning. It's just more of just a real soft sweetness to it. It's also got more of a nutty characteristic to the smoke also. The woody core is still there pretty strong. The leather note seems to have died down a little bit. So right now what I'm getting is a really strong kind of an oaky flavor with a nice nutty sweetness to it with a hint of spice in the background that still lingers in the palate. This cigar really has a long finish to it. So anyway, I'm going to finish the second third of this, and I'll be back to let you know how it is. See you in a second. Everybody, I'm back. And as you can see, I'm done with the second third now. There's really not too much of a change from the first third to the second third. If anything, right at this, pretty much at this point now, actually the spice is kind of ramping up a little bit more. We're still getting that woodiness with that sweet nuttiness also to it, and that sweetness is still a nice, soft, rounded sweetness that's accompanying the other flavors. That leather, let's say, it kind of died down. It's coming back a little bit more now also, but other than that, it's not much of a difference from the first third to the second third. But you could actually feel more of the power actually coming into the cigar. It was pretty powerful in the beginning, and now it's slowly ramping up in power. But it's a real subtle change in the fullness of the cigar. So anyway, going pretty good. You can see the burn's really good also. I get about an inch of the ash before it'll finally fall off, but really I haven't let it fall off myself. I just kind of tap it because it looks like it's about to go anyway. So anyway, it's burning really well. Well constructed cigar. Anyway, we'll go ahead and finish this thing off. I'll be back to give our final impressions. See you in a second. Everybody, I'm back. I'm at the end of the cigar now. Pretty much nothing has changed. It's still pretty much exactly the same cigar as on the final third. It's just got a strong woody core, a little bit of leather, that sweet nuttiness to it. But the nuttiness though is kind of tapered off. Actually, it's tapered off a good little bit. Actually, the sweetness is still there, and the spice really came more to the forefront. But that's pretty much it. Really great bunch of flavors, and it's actually gotten a little bit less of a punch of the final third of it. I kind of wasn't expecting that. I thought it would be more of a punch. Now, this is the second of the torpedoes that I've smoked. I smoked several of the number 4 and several Robustos with only the second torpedo. Now on these, for the different sizes so far, I probably think that the torpedo is the best of the line. To me, the little bit larger ring gauges on the Melanios to me, it's got a little bit more flavor. The number 4 is a little bit stronger to me, it is, but I get more flavor out of the larger ring gauges. So anyway, check them out and put in the comments of what you think, especially if you tried all the different ones. And I can see the rain, or you can hear the rain is starting up again. So it's been a real rainy, muggy day here in South Mississippi. And the burn of this has not been affected by the high humidity and the moisture in the air. So that's a pretty good sign also. But nonetheless, I think it's a really outstanding cigar. It's, which is to be expected coming from the Oliva Serie V lineage that they've got, because to me that's one of the best cigars ever made, bar none. Do I think this is box worthy? Yes and no. I think it's definitely worth it flavor wise, but with the price point being as high as it is, it's a little iffy. But nonetheless, I think it's an outstanding cigar. So if you could definitely swing a box, then it's very much worth it. Now let's talk about the ageability of the cigar. I think it has a really good ageability on this thing. I'm kind of curious of what this will be in a few years, actually, because I'm thinking the power will be kind of mellowed out, and so the flavors will be more rounded. So I think I'm going to put some of these up, kind of put them in the back of my humidor, back of my locker that I've got, and kind of just let them sit there and age for a little while. So if you could do that, definitely want to try that out if possible, especially the larger ring gauges. So I definitely think it's probably one of the best cigar releases we've had this year. Definitely. I'm pretty sure you'll see this again on my top cigar of the year, at the end of the year that we have. We all do our top 10s or top cigars or whatever the number is going to be this year for whatever. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm pretty positive this is going to be on my top 10 list for sure. It's just one outstanding smoke. So anyway, so you get to the end of the cigar, you see the burn got a little bit funky on the end, but other than that, like I said, great flavor. I had a couple of relights, but near the very end, I had none until the last third, and I had 2 in the final third of it. But it's really outstanding smoke, so definitely go out and check this thing out. And on that note, I'll see you next week for another cigar review.